Okay, welcome back everybody to Coffee and Art in the Morning. So in segment one, we did a faux leather cover on our Dilutions Ranger journal. I won't go through it now, but you can there'll be a video on that. Then I asked what people wanted to see for another segment, and we had some people wanted to see my old ATCs, like back from 2002, 3, 4, when I was really involved in ATC swaps. But most people want a color book page, so it looks like we'll be doing a color book page. However, I do want to maybe show a few ATCs now. A little disclaimer here, there's a lot of them. And so I can't obviously, unless I do a whole show on just old ATCs, artist trading cards, um, it would, take a long time to do all of them. But I will show you what I have, and then I'll pick out a few of my favorites, and then we'll do a color book page. I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and start a page in the Sherlock Scrap Pats, or Pat Scrap, she's both, uh, sent me this. And so I already have the page picked out that I want to start on. It's this one. And it's very intricate. And so we probably will not finish it. Just saying. But I like to do washes and get a lot of the base colors in. And then I go back with the detail, which I've shown y'all before, but we'll do again. The other thing, and some people have come in since I showed it earlier, but I also got in, and I did do the first couple of pages, the Creative Bible. And so, since we're talking about color book page, and I had to wait a month for it because it was brand new. But mom said that she ordered it. It's going to be 3 days and free shipping. So if you go on Amazon, it's called My Creative Bible, and there's a couple different new ones out. I don't think it shows very much on the insides of them. So I was kind of taking a chance on picking this one over the other one, but it has like over 300 things to color in the margins and a few of the larger pages, including, here's my little keep something between the pages. This is kind of what it looks like on the inside and outside cover. They give you a full-on color book, and it's on the cardstock, so you can do like heavier stuff on these two pages. So I did color my front. Here's my front inside cover page that I finished. Then I also did the front page with the to, from, and the date, and Hubster gave it to me, so I put his name in there. And it had the roses and a little border and some little flowers, so I kind of turned those into baby's breath. I added my own freehand checkerboard around the border. And so there's that. And the only other page, and then here's another introductory page you can color. But the rest of the pages are thin. They are wide margin with all kinds, 300 and something of, 365 of them uh, throughout the Bible in the margins. The ones that don't have anything on the margins, they're just plain lined paper, and the paper is a cream color. Okay, it's like an off-white cream color, and I like the lines. I really like the lines. Even if you go over the lines with your own designs and things, um, with your own designs and things on your own, you can just go over the lines. The only other thing that I've done in here is the page for the 23rd Psalm. So there's the full page that I did there. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Colleen. Thanks, Heather, everybody. Thanks. I know they're fun. Now, the rest of the pages, I did show this last week. The rest of the pages are thin. I did do a little test, okay? I did do a little test page here in the back. And I was surprised at how, as thin as they are, okay, you could still write on them with the Sharpie. Now, this is the Sharpie pen, not the marker. The Sharpie pen, there's the Sharpie in black, the Sharpie in red, and there's just a gel pen. And then here's the Stabilo. Then over here, I put some color pencil down, dark green and lime green color pencil, Prismacolor, and I went over it with the these markers, the kids Crayola markers that I use all the time, these bullet tip. I went over the top of the color pencil, and none of those went through. Now, the solid marker, where I just did a little test with just the marker, not over the color pencil, it started to ghost through. Okay, it started to ghost through. But you can obviously use color pencil and then marker, water-based kids Crayola markers, not alcohol-based. I would not even try a Copic or a Sharpie or anything like that, even over color pencil. But that going over the color pencil did not go through. And again, a Sharpie pen did not go through, neither did a gel pen. So even over here on this page, I did like, there's 1, 2, 3, there's 5 layers of pencil on the lettering. There's 5 layers of lettering to ombre it out. I even used a little silver gel pen. I used a little silver gel pen on the ironwork there, and it didn't come through at all. Now, it does wrinkle the pages a little bit, okay? It will wrinkle the pages. I can feel it through, okay? You're not going to have that perfectly, especially if you use a lot of layers of color pencils. Yeah, I think there must be some kind of coating on the paper too, Rain, for that to not soak through. But all this pencil work will wrinkle your pages a little bit, but I don't care. Y'all know me. That doesn't bother me. So there is that page, and there's a few pages that are full on page like this. Not a lot. Most of them are just borders like this. But there's over I think there's said 365 or something like that throughout it. Now, this page and this page are on the cardstock, right? It's a cardstock. And of course the cover. So when I did this, I just went full on marker. Sorry, it froze for a second, guys. On the blue background there, it's just full on these kind of markers. Not a Copic, not a Sharpie. Okay, I wouldn't want it to come through here, although this is plastic, right? So I was able just to use a full-on blue marker in the background on the front and the back. So yeah. So anyway, you can. It's called My Creative Bible, and the box it's in a box like this, and it was $29 and change, and it's free shipping because Mom just ordered her one. So I had to wait a month for mine because they had just come out. So just wanted to share that with you. Okay, so again, onto our coloring. I want to color in the Sherlock book. All right, got any questions? No. Yeah, a lot of people, we're talking about the Wingnut book, people that make funny quips, quotes, and sayings here. I write them down and we can put them in the Wingnut book because we're all a bunch of wingnuts. So anyway, there's just all kinds of, I just put them on Post-it notes and stick them in the book. But anyway, yeah, somebody made the Wingnut book a little while ago. RV, sweet lady. All right, so I'm going to color in the Sherlock book that Scrap Pats, or Pat Scraps, she's both, sent me. And so I do want to color in this page right here. I have her card in here too. I have her card in there, but I'm going to keep my note there. So this is a page that we'll do in just a minute. But real quick, I will show a few of my older ATCs. I was involved doing ATC swaps for about 4 years. Seemed like I do everything really hard and heavy for about 4 years before it's time to move on to something else, And, well, I should say I spend that time learning something. I usually spend 4 years learning something before I move on to something else. Not that I never do another art card or a ATC or, a drawing, sketch card or anything like that. I still do them, but not to the extent where I'm in all these swaps. I was hosting swaps and in swaps probably like 3, 4, I don't know, sometimes 5 a week, which was a lot. When you have to make 6 to 10, even sometimes an alphabet, 26 at a time. Now, I don't know, I have all these books. Let me kind of put the biggest one being, they're all sliding off. The biggest one being this one, which I think is, I'm not sure how, is that a 5-inch binder? This one's a 5-inch binder. Then I have 4 of them that are 3-inch binders. of all ATCs. So these are some birthday ones right here at the beginning. But I am careful to cover up people's addresses and all that. Now, what I'll do is I'll just put these in my lap so you can see. I'll just put them in my lap and pick out a few of my favorite ones and show them, and then we'll go on to the color book page because I did get a request to show. I know that there's, so let me see real quick. This one probably has some of my favorites. Just kind of bringing down the books to kind of flip through. This one probably has some of my favorites. But I've got 4 or 5. And then I also have, because I still do cards every now and then, but my own ATCs in different partial, you have piles of them too, Val, in partial finishing. I've got all these. These are all my own that are in different stages of completion. And, they're really packed in there. So these are my own that are in different stages. But I also have trays and trays. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 other trays with ready to go cards like that. Small ones for inchies. So I have a lot of card make ATC and art card, sketch card processes, But back in 2000, probably 2, 3, 4, and 5 is when most of these were done. There's probably a few other ones that I've got here and there that I really love. I saved myself a couple that I really like this one. Let's see. This is one of the little booklet ones that I made. And what I'd done for this, I don't want to spend too much time doing this, but I get into something, right? I know, guys, right? This one I did with a little paper and stamps. And then what I did is I took that stamp and I stamped it into some clay pieces and baked them, the polymer clay. And then I painted them to look like bits of like archaeology, like you dug these little bits up, although I did varnish them, they probably would. But anyway, so, and then made these little books and then made it look like wood, and they're little booklets. So I did some ATCs that were very fancy like this in the swaps, but, that's just more of the exception than the rule as far as that goes. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the big binders of ATCs here on my lap and just pick out a few. So I'm still here. Where's B? I'm still here, but I'm going to pick out some of the ones that I like. All right, so some of the ones that I made are they're made to look like I used vintage text, and I would, as a matter of fact, my very first Ustream show, it's between 5 and 6 years ago. And I've only been uploading to YouTube for a year and a half. But my very first Ustream show was on how to do an edging that made it look like, on art cards, that made it look like, like this. Exactly the word I'm looking for. But to make it look raised and crackled and plaster, that's the word, to make it look like old plaster. So I did quite a few. I've got pages and pages of these from back when I did a whole bunch of these, and these are varnished, same varnish that I use now, the Ceram Coat, but these are some of the ones that I did that were very, hey Sarah O, very distressed looking. And again, that was my very first Ustream show, was that type of thing. And but I have different ones like that with different color combinations, and you can see how it looks like plaster, like worn plaster. So I'd have pages of that. I'm not going to show you all the pages. I'll just pick out a couple here and there. And then I was in a lot, of course, themes. So we would do, most swaps are themed based, or they were back in the, at least the heyday of when I participated, 2, 3, 4, 5 back there. We do a lot of themed. And so we do a lot of, like, here's an angel one. Here is a Valentine one. So again, I did a lot of the plaster look on that. There's a little, this was a Valentine one. Lots of glitter. She's got a little heart on her lips. This is gold and plaster and varnished. Then here's one from an angel swap again. So you can see. So my ATCs and the swaps that I was in were pretty, I don't want to say elaborate. Um, it was you have one of mine from that's a black plaster. Yeah, Julie Topaz. Okay, so let me just keep flipping here. I'm trying to just kind of flip and pick out some of my favorite ones. We would do so many themes. I'm trying to find the most interesting ones. Okay, then I would also use my own photographs. All right, for instance, this one. I took a lot of my own photographs. I'd go in, we have a lot of old cities and old towns and small, squares, town squares. And off the town squares, there's a lot of old alleys and alleyways and things. This is down one of the alleys that had an old brick wall and an old grate. So this is my actual photograph. So I would use a lot of my own photography, but then do the plaster look again. This is copper plaster, but I did it like with black paint and stuff in there to make it look really distressed and crumbly. And then that's a picture from a back down an alley. Here's another one that I did in the same type of thing. And what I did in this one is I put a piece of acetate in there. And when you look through it, there's a little bird in there. I don't know if you can see that. So I cut a little hole in the brick. And it's the same kind of technique, but this is a photograph I took of an old brick wall with a pipe going down the side there. And then I cut out one of the bricks and put some acetate in there to make it look like, and there's a little bird in there. Thanks, guys. Yeah, they're fun. And so again, I made the plaster look, and they're still thin. They're still thin. Look, it's not very thick. It's a little bit of plaster, but, and what I used is the caulking. Now you can get, well, you probably could back then too, but I was, using the cheap stuff. The molding paste and any kind of texture paste like this. I just use the DAP spackling on them and let it dry and then paint it and varnish them. So that's a couple that I did with photographs, my own photography. Thanks, Vintage Rose Pog, who won the last drawing, by the way, as a newbie. Let's see what else. Let me get these back in here. All right, come on, go back in here. Why isn't that one wanting to fit? What's the deal there? Let's try it the other way. There we go. There's a cut in the, and they're all in those, the baseball card ATC sleeves. But for some reason, there we go. Got it. That's what we used was the same kind of sleeves that. Okay, I can't get that one back in there for some reason. All right, then let's see what else do I have here. We do all kinds of things like vintage girls. Like then we'd find these old vintage photographs online, and again, I have the plaster and the varnish, and so that kind of look. Not all of them have plaster on them. Here's one with why am I having a hard time getting those back in? They slide right out and right in. Okay, then sometimes though I do stuff like this one was not a tape transfer, but some kind of a transfer technique. And you can see the old basic gray. Look at the old basic gray. Yeah, wall spackle. Yeah, that's what DAP is, DAP, DAP, wall spackle. How do I attach the acetate? Just with some Eileen's tacky glue and then I painted over it, painted over the edges on the back side. I paint all my cards black on the back, or at least I paint them, not necessarily always black, but and these are the ones that I don't have any information on the back are my own keeps, my own keeps, rather than when I sent them out in swaps, I'd have my name, my email, the date, the name of the swap, and all that. Um, yeah, the acetate is just glued on with Eileen's tacky on the back and then covered up with paint along the edges. Yeah. Let's see. Here's, I did different things. Like this one is just, this was the Raven. Again, just plain, a plain one. And then I did lots of ones where, like this here. Again, this one's got like vintage, old text. I would burn the edges, paint the edges, stamped on the back. There's a little girl from vintage girl with a little jewel on her. A rub on. Again, they're just, so these are some of mine. I'm going to get to some of the other people's here in a minute. I'll spend about, let's see, what is it? It's right at 20 minutes. I'll spend 10 more minutes showing ATCs. Here's another one of my photographs. This is an old lamp down an alley. And so you can see I took the photograph and then I just did the plaster around it. And then I varnished the whole thing. So, and when I varnished over my photography, the actual photograph, it kind of crack-a-lured. I don't know if you can see it because I varnished it, and it's shiny, but it's kind of like a crack-a-lure in the photograph paper itself. That's okay. That's all right, Rain. Yeah, I know. Sorry to ask twice. You got to embrace the lag. Yeah, exactly, Rain. Okay, so let me keep flipping here and find a few that are more, just something different, I want to find some different ones. A lot of them are themed, and here's a blue one. So here's one of my photographs, the same photograph that you saw earlier that was brown. I printed it out with a blue tint. And then what I did is I did a blue and gray plaster look around it. Hopefully I'm not going to have too much trouble getting these in and out. I usually just show you all a whole page. Here's where I did some couple of bees. These are, let's see. These are from 2006. And again, I made them look like they were in a honeycomb, kind of like honeycomb-esque effect with some music, some little bits of bees. And then I wanted it to look like they were in honeycomb or give it the effect of honeycomb. So you can kind of see those there. Like that. I want to get to some of the people that I love their cards. And of course, they're all signed, dated, and everything on the back, so I should not have a problem. This is a good one. I think this was a coffee theme. We did a lot of coffee themed. This one was by, oh my gosh, this had to be before, no, maybe Tara and I did a swap. I was going to say this one's from Tara, Sugared Elephant. And she was not back in the swaps. This is from 2011. So this was after I quit doing major swaps. So Tara and I must have just done a swap, an individual swap back in 2011. But look, Tara loves her comic book things. So look at this one. I need coffee. I need coffee. Look. And that's like a big jewel thing right there, like a moon jewel. Look. So that's from Tara. You like the bees, Juju? Look. Essence of honeycomb, right, Julie. So that's from Sugared Elephant Tara. Okay, so let's see what else I have in here. I don't want any addresses to flip, so let me hold it in my lap. I'm going to pick out a few of my favorite ones. And here's a couple more from people that you probably know. This one's from Rach or Rachel. You know, our Ustream. What's her number? Rach. Oh, somebody can tell me on YouTube. Rach 0. Somebody will tell me. This is one of Rachel's. Look at this, guys. Now look at the dimension on that. This is one of Rachel's ATCs that I think we did a swap or something. So that's one of Rachel's. Look at that. That's all dimensional, guys. That's all dimensional. And look at that, flowers and the glitter. Isn't that gorgeous? I mean, gorgeous. Bye, Patty. Patty, you're going to miss a color booking. So isn't that beautiful, guys? So these are in the front here are my more recent ones. So that was 2011 that Rachel sent that one. Okay, moving on. We had this one. This swap was Dar and I did a swap, I think. And Artie Dar sent a whole bunch of these, and this is the last one because I gave them all away and kept, maybe two. But this is an Artie Dar one. And she sent a bunch of these and I gave them away. If you can't, what does it say? If you can't laugh at yourself, I'll do it for you. Rach0113. Thank you, Vicky. Yeah, y'all have to go. I mean, everybody knows who Rach is. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, if you can't laugh at yourself, I'll do it for you. That's our Artie Dar. These here in the front are my more recent swaps, obviously. Okay, so this one is from Sandy P. from 2011. So here's a nice look at that gorgeous fairy, and she's got it like it's under glass. It's like an acetate piece, but it makes it look like a fairy, a pressed fairy. And she's got some beautiful like foiled edges. So this is Sandy P. I know, guys, right? I know. Love Artie Dar. Thanks, Vicky. So that's Sandy P. What else do I have here that some of y'all might know? Here's a Packer die. Here's a Packer die one. If I can get it out of the thing. There's a Packer die card. Of course, in her collage style. And it's got a little, see, it's dimensional there. Little bee and lots of glitter and lots of paint, lots of splatters, that's all hand painted. So that's a Packer die who now is published in Art Journaling, the April. It'll be out for, unless you got a subscription, people have gotten it early, but in the bookstores, at least that's what they told me at my bookstore, April, the end of this week to the first week of April. And so she's got an article in the Art Journaling Somerset Studio publication. So, but anyway, there's our Packer die. I know. I thought I saw a Packer die. Hey, Angie Bell. So yeah, let's see what else. I'm gonna show a few more. I mean, I've got, like I said, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How many I have full. And this, I don't know if y'all remember Tammy O. She hasn't been around for a while, but I mean, I see her on Facebook every now and then again. But Tammy O sent me my very first rack, not a swap, but my first like Happy Mail. After I started streaming, Tammy O sent me my very first Happy Mail after I started streaming. And she sent me this This was her very first ATC made for Dede. So that was her very first ATC. And that's got a die cut butterfly. And she sent me die cuts. That was the first time I'd ever seen these die cuts too. So that's her very first ATC. That was Tammy O. I know, like, Julie probably remembers her. I don't see her online. I don't see her on Twitter, Ustream, or nothing like that anymore. Let's see. Let me see. I'm just kind of picking out. I'm trying to see the names on the backs of them too, so that you can kind of maybe know somebody. Okay, this one, I'm pretty sure it's Felicia. Pretty sure this is Felicia because this is how she made. This was she made this ATC for me for my birthday. So this is a birthday ATC. Now, if y'all know Felicia, you know how she does her pop-up and pop-out type things. So here's the art card that she sent me for an ATC for a birthday. Look at this. The note is on the inside, right there. This is a Felicia ATC, people. That's stepping up your game right there. This is stepping up the game. Okay, Dasha, I'm recording. Look, that's a Felicia ATC right there. Look at that fold. Look, folds up perfectly flat. Look, let's get it. Look. Oh. Tara says hi. Her computer isn't working right now, so she can't visit. Oh, okay, good. I know, Terry, right? Yeah, this is the kind of stuff Felicia makes. Just saying. Now, Felicia had some Facebook groups for a while. I'm not in them, but I know she had a Facebook group, or maybe still does. And but yeah, that's a Felicia. That's the things. That's the kind of birthday card you get from Felicia. Okay, all right. So let's see. I'm looking specifically for people we might know. Here's a Joycey Noodle card. Okay, let me see if I can get it out. Hers are, extra. She's got a lot of texture and stuff. So this is a Joycey card with her different kinds of papers and layers. That's a Joycey card noodle. Okay, what else do I have here? Gonna flip a little bit. Try to find some hand-drawn ones too, because we do have some of those. Here's one of my hand-drawn ones. This was from 2010, so that's a little hand-painted one there that I did. I mean, they're all awesome. Don't get me wrong. They're all awesome. But I've been in a couple swaps with you guys. I think maybe two different swaps. With you guys. All right, so let me go ahead and get the next. I want to get to a couple different books while I can. All right. I said 10 more minutes. We've already gone 10 more minutes. See, it's going to be a little longer now because, All right, let me do a flip through here. And again, we would do all kinds of swaps based on themes. Christmas, birthdays. All right, here's some hand-drawn ones. Let me show you a few of those. So these are some of the ones that we did. We had to do a set. This was for a set of dogs. Now, mine are copies here that I'm going to show you because I swapped the originals. But these are some of the copies of some of the little dog ones. So I did different hand-drawn little dogs. And then some of the ones that I got back in the swap. Let me close this back up here. I don't want them to get away from me. Here's some of the ones that I got back. This one is from... Her name was Cindy, I think. Here's a little hand-painted one. This was from the dog swap. I've been in tons of swaps. Telepathic ones. Oh, Vicky. Our alligator, Vicky. Okay, yeah, we have Vicky BR, who's our alligator Vicky in Louisiana. Then we have Miss Vicky. So I kind of have to try to say Miss Vicky or alligator Vicky. So you're stuck with the alligator Vicky. So there's a little hand painted one. Let's see, I got a couple other hand painted. Here's a hand drawn one. And yeah, there's another hand drawn one. Yeah, we did a lot. I mean, I was in it for, like I said, about 4 years. And then here's one that I was in. And again, these are copies because I sent out the originals. But I was in a bird swap. Now these are, I think I did 2 sets of these. These are the birds. These are all hand drawn, hand painted birds that I did for a bird ATC swap there. This one was that was 2005. 2005. Let's see. And then there was people that we would do. This one we had to do. This was called Devil's Advocate. That was the name of the swap. This girl did a quilt. This is a quilt. And I have a few of these by different people, but they're sewn. That's all sewn on, and it's a quilt. Quilt ATC. What else? That one was from, when was that one from? 2005. That was from 2005. I'm gonna keep moving here. I'm wanting to stop and read them all. Christmas. I want to find the alphabet where we did an alphabet swap. See if I can find that one. Here's one that I did. This was called Found Photos. I know. Found Photos. And I used my mother-in-law's picture. My mother-in-law since passed away, but I love my mother-in-law. And she has tons of pictures from way back, including herself when she was like 3 years old. That's my mother-in-law when she was 3. So I used her in quite a few different swaps. And now her name, of course, she married the Willingham. That's what, my husband's name. She married into Willingham, right? So the little thing I made for it, little Thelma May grew up to be quite the ham. Because she married or we all say there's no ham like a Willingham. So that was my little thing I made up for her. Little Thelma May, that's her real name, grew up to be quite the ham. And then I just put tucked it in there like that. And I used the little vintage photo corners. I know. Isn't that cute as a button? Oh, and then different people use different kind of things. This is another person sent this one in. So this one was called Found Photos, okay? Although I used my mother-in-law's photo. Then we had, this one was really good. I can't remember who did this one because it came in an envelope and it's not, see, is it still in the back? But anyway, look at this little one. She used those German scraps, the little gold scraps, and then all kinds of that's all embossed powder. You can see that. And then look at how the edges are cut. So very fancy, some very fancy ones too. Let me flip. Because we'll be here a while if I don't flip quick. Here's this is one. Let's see, is mine in here? Okay, so this is the alphabet. I found the alphabet, guys. So in the alphabet swap, we swapped a whole alphabet, 26 letters. Now mine are copies, except I made one duplicate of a real one, so I could have an actual real one of mine. But here's this is one of the people that sent theirs in. And here's the letter G, and there's goose, okay? So we swapped an alphabet, and we gave ourselves about a month, I think, to get that one done. But my alphabet looked like, I'm looking at, mine's at the back here. Okay. So it was vintage, ABC Vintage Collage Alphabet. So I'll show you the pictures of mine. This is what mine look like. I did all 26 letters. They look like this. I used one of those yellow stencils. I don't know if this is interesting to anybody, but we're on a roll now. So I use those vintage yellow, the yellow stencils like that, painted them black, and they're all popped up. Everyone has pop dots, brads in the corners, and then would be something that had to do with the letter. So I'll show you the copies. Like I said, I sent out all my originals, but I'll show you what the copies look here. So they're smaller here. This is just a photograph of them all. But here's all my different, I think I've done 2 alphabet swaps, so this is just one of them. But every one of these are pop dotted up stencils, right? And I got the whole alphabet here, so I won't show them all to you. You got the idea. But so I was in 2 different alphabet swaps. All right, so let me go on quickly. Let me just do a quick flip in these other books to see if there's some real fancy ones that I want to show, or some hand-drawn ones. Oh, where's mine? I think I gave that last one away, my Soji screen. I had one that was a Soji screen, and I think I gave that away. Or I showed it one time, and I didn't put it back in the right spot. I did a little mini Soji screen out of netting, out of tulle. See all your... Bye, Kim. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, we'll get to something else here shortly. Maybe. Oh, but there's just so many. So many. Then we did ornament swaps. We would have to put little hangers on them because they were ornaments. Here's another fancy. Look at this one. Look at that. There's the hanger, a wire hanger there. And that's like one of those a glass slide, the slides, the Tim Holtz. I don't know if Tim Holtz popularized them, but this was before that, I think. But it's the copper around the edge of the slide, and then there's the, and they're ornaments. It was an ornament swap. Ooh, this one's really cute. There's a little hanger on there. It's got a little bell. Hand drawn. What else? Let's see. Oh, here. No, that's not my Soji. Is this my Soji screen one? Let's see. No, that's not my Soji screen one. This is a different one I did, though, with playing cards. I wish maybe I gave away all my Soji screens. This is another one I did, though, with playing cards, with Asian playing cards. And so did a little hinged cards. Let's see. Okay. All right, let me go on to another book real quick. Let's see what's in this one. Are y'all still with me? Well, we got 100 people here, so I guess it's interesting to some of you. Here's one that somebody did beading. I mean, we just did all kinds of things. Look, that's all little beads. Look, on a wire beaded thing. Look, and foil. Oh. Oh, and this is another one. This is a friend that she used to live here. She moved to Texas. This is the epitome of patience to me. That's all hand beaded. That's hand beaded, and each one of those is sewn on individually. Look at that. Isn't that stunning? Thanks, Vicki. See the beads? Those are all hand sewn on. Hey, Miss Allie. Haven't bored you yet because you just tuned in. Oh, my goodness. All right. Here's another, here's some more. This is also done by Rachel, my friend Rachel. Not this is different than our Rach on YouTube. But look at that. This is another ornament swap. Look at that. All beads. I'm telling you, these people know how to do some. They know how to do some ATCs. I know, right, guys? Wowzers, right. Okay, so I'm being careful with these beaded ones because they'll, you know. All right, let's see what else is in here. Lots of coffee swaps, themes, you know, like Valentine, birthdays, vintage ladies, cupies, birds, fish. All kinds. Funky fish. Funky fish. All right, so I did a whole series of the Wizard of Oz with, again, with the paste, the molding paste type, well, spackle. Did a whole series of Wizard of Oz with glitter and varnish and all that. We did a, you know, it's a Wizard of Oz swap. Here's one that I did with the, sometimes I'd make, you know, extras. This was from 2006. You know, make extras so I could keep some for myself. All right, let's see. Here's one that somebody else made. That was cool. Who did this one? Just has artist trading cards. But anyway, it's got the glitter on there. And they put, give me my shoes. Oh, let's see. Trying to get them back in the little sleeves. Fairy tales, fairies, Dr. Seuss. Here's one where one of the girls drew me. She did a little portrait of me. That's without, didn't have my glasses on. Okay, so let me flip through this last book real quick. Let's see if I can find anything really, and then we'll start, at least start a color book page. We'll continue. I'll tell you what we'll do, guys, is I'll start the Sherlock Holmes, and we'll continue it the next time I do a color book page online. I'll save it, and we'll continue it on. Here's one where I did a little, my own little drawing. I forget what this was, Jesters or something like that. So this was my little hand-drawn jester, and I popped it up on the pop dot. And so I have little fibers and little hand-drawn jester. This one was from 2005. All right, I'm flipping, guys. A lot of these are some of my sets, some of my Valentine sets. I still have quite a few things left from 2006. I had extras. Oh, here's another one of my mother-in-law. Okay, so this was my mother-in-law when she was a teenager. And I did this one in 2005. This is my mother-in-law and two of her friends in bathing suits in Savannah, probably in the 40s. And what I did, this is a copy. The original ones that I did, that's that fringe. You know that fringe, eyelash fringe? I put eyelash fringe on each one of them in the originals. So they all had little eyelash fringe. This is just the photograph of the original. But that's my mother-in-law in the 1940s right there. I told you I used a lot of her pictures in my stuff. Okay, that was called Bathing Beauties, that swap. We got shoe swaps. We had a purse, handbag, wedding, Vintage children. Okay, here's another one. I used my mother-in-law again. That's my mother-in-law, and I did a little wire bird with little beads on it. See those little beads on the wire, and there's a little bird on the wire. So there's a little bird, and she's like, looking up at the bird. She could be holding the wire. But that's my mother-in-law, and I did a few versions of this. Did a pink one. I did a green one. So I did some different versions of my mother-in-law pictures there. That one was called Vintage Children. Yeah, I know. Let's see. This one was called Anything Eve. And a lot of people did like Adam and Eve, right? This girl, this is so clever. Here's her Eve. She did Eve Plum from the Brady Bunch. What does it say on here? Well, all day long, let's see. Well, all day long at school, I hear how great Marcia is. At the end, or what does it say? Well, all day long at school, I hear how great Marcia is. At this or thou that, Marcia, Marcia, Marcia. And that's Eve Plum, Anyway, I thought that was clever. What else? Had quite the imagination. A whole page of Dr. Seuss here. Yeah, this one was from 2005. My Dr. Seuss, I hand drew. This was my contribution. I hand drew Cat in the Hat peeking up. So that was mine. Okay, let's see. This one was then architecture. I showed you how I did that little book with architecture with the bits of polymer clay. Then we had a chocolate swap. Dresses. Okay, here's the one I did for dresses. I put it on a little hanger. All right, so it's got a little boa. This is that paper that's textured, So there's a dress, there's a belt, it's got a boa, and I handmade these little hangers, these little metal hangers. So that was my dress. Oh, here's my Soji screen. Yay! I found it. Okay, so this was Anything Asian. I did keep one. So this was probably my fanciest, trickiest, well, I should say most time consuming. I had this vintage prints of a samurai. I think it's a samurai. And so I made these little miniature Soji screens that you open up and see how it's a screen right there. And you open up and inside he's pop dotted up, some vintage text. I got a little coin in his, hat there. So yeah, this was my most time consuming set. And I think I made about 8 of them, and I gave even after the 6 that I traded, I gave the other ones away too. So that is my little most time-consuming ATC. And you can see it's pretty flat still, but this is my favorite ATC I ever made, were these. So I'm glad I still had one because I thought maybe I'd given them all away. And then we did hand-drawn art. And this is one of the girls' hand-drawn, I think it's a self-portrait. I'm just flipping kind of quick. I'm telling you some of the swaps. So dragonflies, artistic style. It had to have the word art in it. Oh, the 7 continents and the 7 wonders of the world. That was a fun one too. But I did, that was 7. I did 7 continents, and I used stamps and little tags. This is my one copy of the one that I had left. All right, if you get freaked out by spiders, look away for a minute. I'm going to show one that I did with, it was called Touchy Feely. So if you don't like Touchy Feely, look away, okay? But I will show you this quilt one first. This is a quilted, like, one of those kind of all what do they call them? Crazy quilt type things. And so that's her touchy feely. Look at that. All that's hand sewn and quilted in there. All right, so you have time to look away. So here was my touchy feely. My touchy feely, I used pipe cleaners and made a spider. He's hanging on. So that was my touchy feely. Bye, book, little book owl. Look, he's hanging on to the ATC. With the little roly eyes. So that was my touchy feely. And see, it's got like the fibers. And see, look. Hey, Debbie. Okay, so let's see. All right, I'm going to keep moving on here. I think what I'll do is I'll start. This is already going almost an hour. So I'll go 5 more minutes, guys, and then I'll stop this recording and we'll start another one for color book. Spend maybe a little bit of time color book. Jean comes on at 4, so y'all don't forget that. Okay, then we did creepy crawlies. I won't show you that because my bug looks really real. I don't want to freak anybody else out. Then we did Secret Life of Bees. We had different, the Secret Life of Bees swap. I did mine again with this. I hand carved. This is when I hand carved my bee stamp, and I made it look like a honeycomb with a hand carved bee. What else? These are some Animal Kingdom, and again I'll show you my copies because I swapped out all the originals. But here are the copies of my Animal Kingdom that I did in pen and ink. So I did them all. I did a whole set in pen and ink and just like yellow or yellow ochre. So I just used black, white, and yellow ochre. It was the only colors that I let myself use. So that was my Animal Kingdom swap. That's you like that? And then here's a girl that she did digital. A lot of people had this was let's see what year was it. This was in 2005. And back then people in swaps thought digital was cheating. Of course, we love Digi. I love Digi. I love everything Digi. But back then, Digi was like, oh, that's just like taking a picture. They didn't get it, right? But here, look, here's an example of the Digi work that they were doing back in 2005 in the swap. So, yeah, I love that. Okay, and then here's a hand-drawn panda. Hand-drawn panda by one of the girls. That was Animal Kingdom. Then we had a whole one on unicorns again, all different kinds of glitter. The German scraps. Excuse all the paint on my hand, guys. I still got the paint on my hands from the faux leather journal project that we did a little while ago. Isn't that beautiful? See all the little stars? My unicorn wasn't so glittery or anything. I used a toothpick and wrapped it with wire and put it on a horse. Here's another gorgeous one that somebody gave in the swap. It's got a little feather up there. Again, it's got embossing all around the edges. Isn't that beautiful? Some beautiful work. Hey, Miko. Good to see you. Then I won't show the clowns. We've got a whole thing of clowns. Then we have a art doll one. I'll show this one. This is cool. Look at this. Who did this one? This was by Helen. It's on a little hanger, but look at her. This is her. This was her ATC in the art doll. Look. She completely unfolds. She's all braided, jointed, and this is what she did, all of them. So she kind of has a yoga position. She kind of sits there in yoga position when you fold her all up. Like that. Isn't that awesome that she has a little ribbon around her waist there? So yeah, this was the art doll. You're welcome, Carrie. Then let's see, there was favorite drink. Of course, I did coffee. Cats, different ones did hand drawn cats. Hand drawn cats. What else? Fall cleaning, spring cleaning, anything that pedaled. Different people did different, like a steampunk type look with the different thing, anything that pedaled. The Four Seasons, Far Out 50s, and then another ATC letters where you had to use ATC on 3 different ATCs. Then Sherlock Holmes. Oh no, this was your alter ego. I did my alter ego with Sherlock Holmes. So there's my card for. I took the ME out of Sherlock Holmes and made it me. And it says, "Oh, a mystery, is it?" So yeah, that was my alter ego card. Okay, let's see what else. Completely puzzled. We had to anything with a puzzle piece, and what I did is I hand carved a gargoyle. So I took the gargoyle and I put his face. This was one of my hand carved stamps, but I stamped it twice. I stamped it in white on the black card, and then I stamped his face on the puzzle piece. So it's like the whole stamp is there, but with the puzzle piece for his face. So that was how I did the puzzle one. Things with weddings around the world. So anyway, guys, so I think I'll stop there. I did not show near hardly, a fraction of all the cards. I mean, just this book alone. Just this book alone. Right? So, but thanks for the patience for going through. I know I had some people asking to see it. So I'll go ahead and stop this. I think, guys, what I'll do is I will, 10, because I've been here 3, I guess I'll be okay. If I start getting shaky, I mean, not me, but the computer, I'm thinking I might should reboot before I start another episode. So I think I will do that. Well, nah, I'll stay. I'll let me just stop the recording and start another one. So thanks, guys, for hanging out and watching all the ATCs, and I'll be right back.